Start the broadcast now. Yeah, I started. Do we need to talk the first question? Uh, why did Copio choose to incorporate Hawaiian legend or tradition into his story?
I think that that's the same kind of question about like folklore. Even though it's not really folklore, but like the tradition. But it just gives the book more meaning for people because a lot of people really, really care and value their Hawaiian culture. And if it's not Hawaiian culture, they have their own culture and their own traditions, and so they read it and it's important to them automatically because they can relate.
Yeah, also I think like the Hawaiian culture is so different with Western culture, even though Hawaii is American American, it's from America, but it's still like the different cultural stuff. So also I think the copy to use the Hawaii legend and traditional into his story, so it makes more people to know about Hawaiian culture like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that like just sharing the Hawaiian culture. I mean, me, like I grew up in Florida, so like I didn't really know anything about Hawaiian culture, and just reading this story just like gave me more, you know, helped me learn more in depth about like Hawaiian culture and what it's like, and I think it does that for a lot of people that read this too.
Yeah, I think he decided to incorporate it is because in Hawaiian culture, it's very like it's big on folklore. That word's so hard to say. It's very big on folklore and just they have a lot of superstitions and things that like a lot of cultures don't necessarily kind of accept, like the whole like it didn't really talk about ghosts, but like seeing like dead people in your dreams and like they believe in dreams and a lot of that. And I feel like American culture isn't like so wrapped into it, but many other cultures of like other places, they're very big on like interpreting dreams and things like that. So being able to have a story about this boy who's dreaming and making it into a Hawaiian culture made it more adaptable, I felt.
I really like how his culture was so meaningful for him, and like he had this deeper purpose and he was getting these spiritual answers even though he was homeless. And I feel like that's kind of a strong theme in the book, how like just because you're homeless doesn't mean that you don't have these deeper understandings or meaningful experiences in life. And he used the Hawaiian culture to kind of illustrate that.
Yeah.
Mm. One thing I think the reason why he incorporate Hawaiian nature stories because what I feel because this story is he made, but actually it's something like it's somebody will like experienced like some like the homeless in the book, so it's real happened before. So if you related the culture with the story, will make like I think the readers have like deeper understanding of what he want to express. Yeah.
Okay, the second question is, in what ways does Copio make Hawaiian tradition relevant for contemporary readers? I think like in this book, like Kapil, like he is some like tourists in Hawaii, also about some homeless people. Um, in Hawaii, also there's some aloha spirit about in this book. So it just make I said just use some different examples, so like different people to show this aloha spirit in, about this Hawaiian traditional thing, so can relevant for contemporary readers like that.
I think also just the fact that Mikao is so young, that can relate to maybe like the younger generation readers, that it's not some old person, but like they can just relate to his stage in life and his personality and stuff.
Also, I remember there's like the tourists about to come to the Hawaii to travel in Hawaii, like they shake the aloha like in there to have make some relevance, I think.
One thing I noticed in the book is that it was very visual, and a lot of people, especially like contemporary readers, they like things that are cool and hip and modern, and a lot of people want to go to Hawaii. A lot of people want to experience that island life, and the way he described it, even though he wasn't showing just the ugly, you know, like, but he was also saying, you know, there's beauty within like this ugly situation that this person's going through. And I thought it was very cool how he was able to kind of like tie it in together in a way that it was almost as if I was watching a movie that I had to like read the subtitles of, you know? Because in my head, I could picture it all as I was reading it the way he was describing it. And I felt that he made it relevant to, I guess, like us as younger people in a way that it was, even though this was like written like in the 90s, it still felt so modern today, especially like us that we've lived in Hawaii and we know what it's like, and we can picture a lot of those places, like when he talks about Ala Moana or going to like UH and things like that. And I thought it was very interesting.
I think that also, yeah, like, you know, he made it really relevant, but he really showed just how much, you know, this boy was still so deeply rooted in his Hawaiian, you know, like culture. Because like, you know, he was young, and he, you know, took part of what everyone else like his age would do. Like he would go to the mall, he would do like this and that, but then he would also like remember, oh, you know, like this is part of my culture, this is part of my ancestry. So I thought that it was cool how he was able to merge those two things together.
I think in the story he wrote lots of parts about the people, how people live in Hawaii and how they like their lifestyles. So it's definitely like the contemporary lifestyle. So I think that is related. When you read the book, you will find out, yeah, it's the same life as we saw, like as we see, as we experienced. So it's connected.
So next question is, how does race affect the relationships of characters in the novel? Gender, class, give specific examples, including page numbers.
I think one of the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I think one thing that, like, there was like many different relationships going on in the book, like throughout it went, and I feel that like one that really like stood out to me was that girl on the bus who she was asking him like a ton of questions, and she was like, "Oh, what school you go to?" And he was like, "Oh, this private school." So then, even though she seemed like a really down to earth person, I felt that because he said he went to a private school, it opened the door for her to have more conversation with him. And then after she realized he was lying, she was like, "Well, it's not a big deal, you know. Like he's still human." She's like, "It doesn't matter. Like my brothers went to private school and to public school, and they were like still fine." And I thought it was really interesting how even though they come from two different like class systems, or they are in two different class systems at the moment, she was like, "Whatever, he's still human." And I thought that was really cool. And one thing, like one quote that I really liked as he was reading in Hawaiian journal, it said, "Nobody promised life was perfect. If you think life's not fair, you're right. Nobody said was, but that no mean you get the right for take them out on somebody else." And I think that's so true. Like no matter what, like you don't have the right to take it on somebody else. And I think that kind of goes along with like, you know, just because I'm less fortunate that you are or whatever, it doesn't mean that you should treat me differently. Especially like when he would always describe like the guy with the blue eyes going through the trash and people looking at him bad. And he would like come and like he gave him the apple pie, and then he came and gave him cookies, I think it was, or something like that. And like no matter what, like there's no need to be treating people differently just because they are different. Like we're all human. Like no one's better than anyone else.
I think going along with what you're saying, in the very beginning of the book, it talks about him, going to take a shower and then seeing himself in the mirror, for like for the first time in a while, and he starts to reflect back on the kids that were calling him a stupid haole or whatever, and he was like, well, I'm probably more Hawaiian than you are, but you're just judging me on my appearance. But yet, he, like, obviously it discouraged him, but yet you didn't see him treating anyone else differently. He still tried to be kind to people even though they gave him weird looks and they ignored him and stuff like that. So you could definitely tell like the difference between the two right there.
And I remember on page 74, the doctor, I don't know how to pronounce his name. How do you pronounce his name? O-W-L or Alfeathers, doctor. And when he talked with the boy, and he said something. He said, "You are not crazy at all." And he was really patient, answered the question from the boy, and also telling him, "You're not crazy at all, and you are gonna you will understand. We can be like strong, and we can be like everything. We can have miracles." So like I feel like he kind of used his words to encourage this boy. So yeah, I think that's quite powerful, and make the boy like become more like I think find like encourage the boy find his identity. Yeah.
I think just like Yina was saying, that this really humanizes everybody, and how like there was a lot of tourists that would not look him in the eye, because he was different. But he was kind of trying to prove that wrong by doing service and helping even the weirdest people and picking up trash. And then I love the relationship that he has with the old lady. What's her name?
Miss Lu? Mrs. Lu?
The old lady where he goes to her house and helps her.
Mrs. Lu, right?
Yeah.
Lu, yeah.
And how like she was just as different as him as could possibly be, yet they could have that friendship and they could mutually help each other. I thought that was cool.
Also in the chapter 4 about the Hawaiian, like the boy he tried to talk about his story, like his family to this Hawaiian. I think it is the first change because like in the first I think in the beginning of the chapters like there's some people like from Samoa or Hawaiian like they loved the boy, but for this chapter, like the boy tried to share his story about the Hawaiian man. Also, I think the Hawaiian man also is very like to is he's very kind in this communication talk. So like he listened the boy what the story also just talk with him. I think just help the boy to feel more kind in this world like that.
Mhm.
Do I need to go to the next question?
Yeah.
Is one due two or more of the above factors come together to influence the way of a character is treated or interacts with the world? Again, give specific examples.
One other example I thought of was the gang that kills Hawaiian, and how they're not necessarily like a lot above the homeless people like in class, but they really want to show their dominance. Like, you don't belong here. And also they're a different race. I think they're like someone. And how and that's why they beat him up and things like that, and they made fun of the boy, because they wanted to show, oh yeah, we are different from you and we're better.
I think another one was when he went into the mall and he was in that one store getting the free samples, and like the people that were working there, I think they were like some other Hawaiians or something, and they were treating him, kindly, giving him food, and then the manager came in and he obviously did not like him just by looking at him because of the way that like he was dressed, just like his appearance and stuff, and so he was treated really badly because
Also, I remember like the boy learns sharing when he has a food. Because I actually the end of the story. I forgot the doctor's name. I forgot the name, but just because the boy has the experience about the homeless, so he know the food is very important for people. So he decided to share the food to other homeless people. I think this is a good thing in this story.
Mhm. Mm.
Should we go to the last one?
Mm. Yeah. The thesis statement. After I read the story, like one thing that like inspired me a lot is do you guys remember the part that he found out like he was thought if there's a really God, and he was kind of lost himself before, But then later he found out his identity, and he was trying to help himself to find him, like trying to help himself. I think in this story, for me, I think the author want to tell us, no matter, like I feel like everyone have their difficult situation, their bad trials, everything, like their problems. But as long as we find out our identity and find out how to help ourselves, yeah, we can be like helped, and we can solve our problems, our trials, like that. How about you guys?
My thing is the author is natural to claim that life has many problems that the boy can overcome, such as there's one chapter to talk about the ants. So the author uses the ants to say, like, even though the ants are so small, but they can carry the stuff are larger than themselves.
I honestly, what I got from this was, you know, like you guys were saying, life has so many challenges, so many difficulties, but I feel like people along the way are always there to help. You know, his grandmother wasn't there, but she was still communicating with him through like his dreams, and the girl at the bus stop helped him. People at the university, like there are always going to be people along the way to help you, and all you need to do is, you know, be open to that and to see, you know, that hand of service in your life.
I was thinking like focusing like my like dreams, and how like the various dreams that he had kind of did kind of go along with what he was going to go throughout the day. And also like with the dream and through the book, he was able to kind of go along with he's kind of able to like go through life, be able to like every day like became a little better through every dream that he had, that he was listening, like when his grandmother was like, listen to me, like you have to find like this lady. And then when he was like sleeping, I think outside the botanical gardens or like some other park or something like that, and it was like, you have to go now, and like that guy at the bus stop, he was like gonna die. And kind of like how if we listen to our dreams and like the signs around us, like life will go better, and we'll be able to find.
Yeah, and I kind of what I talked about at the beginning, I want to talk about how the author kind of challenges ideas and stereotypes about homelessness, and how, like I said, how if you like even if you're in that difficult situation, or if you're homeless, that you still can have like meaningful experiences. I really like how this book doesn't sugarcoat the homelessness, and how like, oh, these are all wonderful people, and like it's okay, and because he really shows like this is really hard, and like a lot of the challenges that these people go through, and how some of them aren't the best people, but how they still are people, and how they still can have like meaningful and spiritual and, you know, beautiful experiences that are still worthwhile, through like talking like incorporating it with the Hawaiian culture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I have a question though, you guys. The assignment that's due tonight, and we're supposed to like draw a map.
Yeah.
Right.
I need inspiration. I don't know.
I went to a tutor, and the tutor told me about you need to have a statement just for the map, and then you need to have a 4 quotes and 2 sentences, analyze and citation and quote, and then you need to have a plot points. Then you need to have a super important things about the culture. like that.
Yeah.
And do we have to draw a map?
Yeah.
I think she
Shows
said
where
you
he-
can do to draw a timeline like
Okay.
that, or draw a tree or something else like that.
Okay, and is the map like we should write down the places where he went? Like,
I think it doesn't matter. Just like the codes and PowerPoints and the cultural things, like the significant cultural things. Like that. Just include these three things. It will be okay. I think.
okay, it's kind of confusing of her. Yeah.
I don't like that we have to like draw.
I know. I'm like, can I just write a paper, please?
Four quotes, right? Just four quotes
Yeah.
is enough. 4 quotes, and then okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll do my best.
Okay. Oh, who will read the response for this one?
Oh,
Next time, yeah, because I have 3 assignments here tonight. Or maybe I can write it, but maybe I can submit tomorrow. Is that okay? Do you think it's okay? I submit tomorrow.
okay. I'm okay with it. 你今晚能做完吗？
我要不我做下 maybe I can do the next time, so you can do this time. You think it's okay?
你是我做吗？
你可以吗？
我都不记得他们说了什么，尴尬了。
他这个能找到的这个 video.
那我 yeah.
This video has a record, so you can just go check what they talk. So like that. Yeah, I send the link into the group chat. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, so if I do this one, maybe I will submit it tomorrow, not today. Yeah, because I have assignment due tonight.
Is it okay if I submit tomorrow, so I can do this one? Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yeah. So 你做我做，
都行。
那要不我来？
那行吧，反正换着来吧。
I'll do this one. Okay. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.